basic premise is that aging and disease are biochemical processes that happen over many decades. So if we can track just even the standard biomarkers of organ and systemic function, that's the things you usually get at a yearly physical, even just starting there, if you can track and then knowing how these biomarkers change during aging and how they relate to all-cause mortality risk or risk of death for all causes, then in theory, you can slow the rate of aging of multiple organ systems down, slow your rate of disease, and potentially maximize longevity. So the question is, how do you do that? So since 2015, I've been blood testing up to 7 times a year in order to get a year-to-year change to see where my status is. I've been tracking diet every day. I track fitness, fitness-related metrics, cardiovascular system. I track sleep. I'm tracking the oral microbiome now and epigenetics. And then I'm looking at correlations between, the outcome variables with the, diet and everything else, and then course correcting after every test with the goal of, like I said, slowing, the changes in these biomarkers. And so far, so good.
Can you extend human maximum lifespan via tracking biomarkers of aging and doing supplements and diet and exercise, or are you just biasing your own lifespan closer to the human maximum? And if you start these practices, say at an advanced age like mine, I'm 56, right? If you start these practices in middle age or early old age or whatever it is, like how much of an oomph could you expect to get?
So in terms of pushing the maximum of human longevity, human lifespan out beyond 122 years, which is the current record, I can't say with any certainty that that's going to be the case. All I can say is that at the very least, I should be able to maximize my own genetic potential. The Kurzweil and Terry Grossman live long enough to live forever kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So that's the best that I can do. Now, the question is, what is the formula, in terms of, it isn't just like, the Jack LaLanne approach where eat real food and exercise, which gets you to maybe, 95 where he died. It's, what aspects of your diet optimize, so I can look at correlations to optimize inflammation, but how does that look in terms of correlations with all the other blood panel? And then it's looking at a net score. Are each food or, each level of protein, carbs, fat, et cetera, is that, is it a net positive? Is it neutral? And is it a negative, right? So it's not just a matter of taking X, Y, and Z supplements. It's a matter of, actually rigorous self-testing to see, does the supplement, is it a net positive, neutral, or detrimental? And the same idea for food. So in terms of your second question, which is, can you, when do you start and can you undo the damage? I think obviously starting as young as possible post, maturity is the goal. And there's something about cumulative burden, whether it's through epigenetic or other changes that may be irreversible, that, if you start at 56, maybe you can't undo some of what, has accumulated up to 56, but you could optimize as much as possible going forward after that. But eventually there's going to be rejuvenation tech, whether it's epigenetic reprogramming or other methods that could potentially reset your clock backwards. But, that the science is far from that for now. So some of my data is actually a little bit of both. My Horvath epigenetic age, which is arguably the best epigenetic clock for pinpointing your birthday age epigenetically, is pretty close to my chronological age. But all of my other metrics, my epigenetic pace of aging is relatively slow. My blood biomarkers, organ and systemic health, kidney, liver, inflammation, metabolic, et cetera, are all relatively youthful. So I'm looking forward to that rejuvenation tech and, the epigenetic reprogramming to get me even younger if I can.